So here we are up in Santa Cruz. I got a little note on your Facebook page.
Yeah, so what we were told by people that are sleeping out here is that the cops, about a week ago, Andy Mills, the new chief of police, went and told people that they've got 2 weeks before they got to go.
From the post office.
Before they do a sweep at the post office. So then we heard last night, they came through and told everybody last night was the last night there to sleep there.
And is that the 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, it turned out to be really 2 weeks that became 1 week, yeah.
So it became a 1 week, and was any of this in writing?
None of it's in writing. It's just cops walking up and down, telling people. And so then the other thing that happened was...
They were Rangers, is what they were yesterday.
Rangers, but in the afternoon...
I saw them, they were over there hassling.
Yeah, in the afternoon it was Rangers. In the nighttime, though, it was cops. And it was after 8 o'clock, because I left here. The first cop came at 8, and I was here. And she just told me not to block the sidewalk. But then, after that, they came back and they started like ideas. So anyway, so they came in at there was a debate about what the time was. No one actually looked at the wall to see what time it is. But apparently they came in after 8 because I was gone and told people individually. They went from person to person and told them they'd be out. Last night was the last night. This is just the uniform officers, and it was not the chief of police.
Okay, and this is the police department, not the Rangers.
Correct. And apparently the Rangers, according to Stanton, came in earlier in the day and told people they had to leave.
Thanks,
Wow.
And there's a bunch more Rangers that I've been seeing, like the head Ranger Juan running around today, so I don't know if that's an indication or anything, but he's usually on a Sunday not out doing stuff.
Do you recognize those guys?
Yeah, those are Rangers. Well, yeah, and they're like eyeballing us about something.
Right, and
the one young guy on the right is usually not too bad. The one on the left is usually a jerk. So.
Okay.
And I forget their names. One of the Rangers is kind of the most hard ass on Sundays here is the son of Cynthia Matthews, which is one of the far right wing vigilante city councilors. Right. So that's one of the things that's going on. And there's also been a stepped up campaign about like, everybody's getting, like no one can shop downtown. It's very hard people are refusing to come down here anymore because there's so much homeless people down here.
That's the new narrative, the old narrative?
It's the old narrative that's now back. And then they added onto it, a few months ago we wanted all the homeless dead, but now we're all worried about their health with the hepatitis A. So of course they want them exterminated. Now it's terrible, they might get hepatitis A. Which is it, You want them dead or you want them saved from hepatitis A? So it's like one thing after another. And the other rumor that is occurring is that Rangers and policemen keep telling people that, if you go, and I heard Andy Mills, the chief, told people here that at the end of 2 weeks, which was about a week ago, that they'd have to move, they could move to San Lorenzo Park.
All right.
And they won't be ticketed there. So all go to San Lorenzo Park, but no one's living downtown anymore.
I got 12 videos for this.
Now my suspicion is that that's kind of like what they did in Eureka is move somewhere over here, 3rd Avenue, I think it was what they called it, maybe 3rd Street. And then, now it's a problem there, you have to leave there. So my suspicion is that there'll be this luring of people over to San Lorenzo, and then there will be that's not a good place. To somewhere else, And what do you have in your box?
I wanted to make a donation. This is a soothing skin salve that I've made. I'm an herbalist.
Oh, wow.
And, I thought that these people could really
walk around and ask people if they want it.
Is that the best way to do it?
Just walk up.
Put it on the table or
I would walk up to people and introduce yourself because you made it and explain what it is.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise people will take it and not why.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, like there's a product I'd ordinarily sell for like $10, but
you're kidding.
These people would like really benefit from it. It's like a salve with like medicinal herbs that can really nourish the skin.
Yeah. So and then maybe, and particularly, like some of the women with really benefit from that. I'm sure, like Rebecca, who is very bright red face right now, she's getting a little bit too much sun.
Yeah.
Karen probably would really like it. Diane would like it.
Wow. Hey, show me a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more about that again.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
What is it called?
I'm calling it a soothing skin salve.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's with the herbs. I just made a nice batch with the herbs plantain, yarrow, and calendula, and they grow in this area. And you can find them, prepare herbal remedies with them.
Wow.
And yeah, that's something I'm into doing. And
You don't have a product line or anything, your name on it?
No, I don't. Not yet.
Wow, dude.
I want to though. Yeah.
Wow, that's what I love the beat on it too.
Thank you.
Keep the bee icon. Get a poppin' name, man. What's your name?
Levi.
Levi. What's your last name?
Glatt, G-L-A-T-T.
Right on, Levi Glatt. I appreciate it, dude, for even coming out and doing that. And you sell that already and passing them all out for free. I do a YouTube channel, so that's how come I'm giving you that.
Here, thank you so much.
And it'll be on there.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Thank you.
Good to meet you, man.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah,
You have
appreciate
to
it.
be all over the world before it can be all over the world.
I'm always late.
How are you on time?
Yeah, good luck. I bet you that stuff will go quick. Yeah. Get some cards going, man, so then people can get in contact with you.
That's beautiful. That's so cool.
Okay, so what were we talking about? We were talking. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Freedom Sleepers. Is that going on anymore at City Hall?
No. So what happened with that? Two things on the Tuesday that would have been the
2 years.
The 2 years and 1 week. I had an emergency back operation on that exact day.
Was that you were lifting and just fell down, or was that?
No, it's actually
The
oddly.
voodoo dolls, see?
See?
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about.
You might have a good point
I know
there.
exactly what I'm talking about, dude.
So it happened right before.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
At 3 o'clock on Tuesday, when I normally would have been at the Freedom Sleepers, I was actually, out in an actual emergency operation at that moment. So that meant that I really couldn't go out there. The other, because I was doing the food, preparing for it before that. The other, and I injured my back on the Sunday, the food up bombs, and the Sunday was when my back started hurting. I went to get a massage. Sometimes
That was one day after, the day after we took those three.
Yeah, with the posted all those pictures.
After that guy's birthday from Indonesia or wherever.
Right, the Dalai Lama. Remember the Dalai Lama?
Oh, okay.
Right?
And we walked away, and I said, just think, we started putting out bombs, and I started the first look of video dolls, and they were doing fine. Next morning, you couldn't get out.
Yeah, then I stood up the next morning and I fell to the ground.
It's all true, man.
And I lost.
So why don't we get rid of the voodoo dolls? Why didn't anybody call the police for me? Why? Are we supposed to? Why have everybody die or what the fuck?
Gotta find the voodoo dolls first.
There's a young man
My sister's
who's got this stuff for faces and skin, and he's with a box. He's got a bicycle hat on. With a bright green bike hat. And he's carrying a little box. Oh, he's right on the line at the very end down there. Yeah, you should check that out. Sorry. Make sure it's live video.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes that's another reason we seclude ourselves from it.
Correct, yeah.
Hi, buddy.
Okay, so Freedom Sleepers, is that at all happening anymore?
Well, now it's like basically every Tuesday I do food there, or people do food there. I show up and sit there with my table. And then the other problem was that they started, since I couldn't take tickets because I couldn't even lay down, I felt like bad that people were like, they came in every night and was like, you'd get a $179 ticket, you'd be like woken up. They had like full court press on everybody because they made the law that you couldn't be there after an hour after. Hey, how's it going? So it kept being like that, and so I felt bad that I couldn't be there and really do anything. So it kind of ended up moving over here. So the reality is most of the Freedom Sleepers are people now up against this wall.
How many people do you think are here tonight?
Okay, we'll go.
Well, I've counted usually between about 20 to 30 people in this immediate area, which can include also Bank of the West. Usually 3 to 5 people over at the clock tower, and then you get people on all of the doorways on Front Street and on Pacific going down to at least to Cooper.
Are they still being
They're getting ticketed.
consistently ticketed?
Yeah, every day they come in and if they don't ticket everybody, they definitely wake people up. You tell them they gotta go. A lot of people here just, of course, they're sort of established, so they just never go. They just stay and they just get their tickets.
And so that's how come, because I mean you just got to hole up somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean so basically, is there anybody staying overnight at City Hall anymore?
Nobody's over there anymore.
So everybody
from there
is over here, and
now they're going to move
over here.
Yeah, actually, oddly enough, it's become like a
much more so than the Freedom Sleepers.
yeah. The thing over at the Freedom Sleepers is we have like kind of a.
He's really happy, bro.
Yeah, for some reason the meth head people that were like doing business at the library did not move their operation over here, so it's been much more tranquil. So those people really were never working with the Freedom Sleepers. They just kind of stayed up all night talking, fighting and everything. And that community of people didn't come this direction. I don't know where they went to, but they're not over there. And then so the hardcore people from the Freedom Sleepers just stayed over here now.
So if they come tonight, is anybody planning to video the encounter?
Yeah, I'm trying to stay here as much as I can tonight. And
Because likely 2, 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I may have to just be sitting here all night long. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm trying to get to, and then some of the other core members of Food Not Bombs are talking about staying here overnight as well.
Good.
So,
Yeah, and hopefully they have a charged cell phone with enough space to be able to video.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for Abby to come back from, she's visiting a friend, and talk to her and see if we can get her cameras, because she's got a camera, and then she has her cell phone. And
Right. What about Julie? Is she around?
Julia's around too.
Oh, you're kidding me?
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah?
So,
Okay, well then she might
that
be.
today, but she probably will. So.
Right on. Well, yeah, she'd be an asset.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get a hold of her. So,
Okay. Well, yeah. Hopefully that works out. It's hard, man. I feel like I spread myself too thin sometimes. But there's a lot of need and a lot of concern that needs to be needed.
yeah, Robert was supposed to come down here now, but I don't know. He called me just so that I was on my way. I suspect he will be down, and we were going to all talk about what we're going to do for this evening amongst the people living here, even.
So what can we do to protect or help mitigate the circumstances issues to quell the city's response here of just pushing people out?
No, well, one is just to not cooperate, and I don't know what that would exactly. I mean, actually, people are kind of already not cooperating, and there's no place really to go.
Right.
So, not like
cooperate is in leave. Leave.
And what my suspicion is in the middle of it, I don't know if at nighttime they would come in with garbage trucks and stuff and start wrestling people's stuff away, but maybe that's what they would do.
Wow. Yeah, well, and to advertise that like a thief in the night.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty good thing. Hey, thanks a lot, Levi, man.
Thank you.
It looks like it went quick.
Yeah, it went very quick. I should have brought more.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot of production. How long did it take you to make that?
Well, took me like a day to harvest the plants. I made the oil and strained it, and then I turned it into the salve, adding the beeswax.
Wow.
Got jars, labeled them. Yeah, a few days. Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Sure.
Right on, dude.
Yeah.
Right on. Can we? I wish I would have got one now.
Okay.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, I'm out.
No, you're good, dude.
I'll
You're
be
good.
back for other to donate it in other places. Sure. For
Sweet.
sure. But yeah.
Right on, Levi. Keep up the good work, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, boss.
I actually wrote a book about the medicinal herbs that grow in Santa Cruz.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the profits from it are going towards making herbal remedies for these people.
There's a person out here that you should talk to at some point. I am comes here sometimes to eat, and his name is Otter, Sea Otter.
Yeah.
And Sea Otter is born and raised here. He's been here like I went to his 60th birthday like about a year ago. And he knows a ton about the plants in town as well.
Yeah.
And we might get new ideas from him, and he might get new ideas.
Yeah,
Because
certainly.
he lived in my backyard for a while, and you would say, oh, this is good for this, and that's good for that, and you can eat this, and you can... Like the whole backyard turned out, all the weeds were like...
All of the weeds are like really useful, certainly.
Right. What was your book called?
It's called Medicinal Herbs of Santa Cruz County. You can find it on like Amazon. It's also at the Herb Room on Mission Street now. And yeah, it's like has more than 30 plants that you can find and prepare remedies out of. Yeah.
And you're exclusive to Santa Cruz, or
I mean,
native to Santa Cruz at least?
all of them grow in Santa Cruz. I described the places where they grow, but they can be found in other places in California, certainly. Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Man.
Okay.
Well, keep up the good work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right on, man.
Yeah. Really nice to meet you.
All right, bud.
Yeah. All right.
There you go, Levi.
Okay,
Thank you. We'll
yeah.
see you next week.
When's your like next event?
Tuesday we do City Hall at about, we'll probably arrive at around 3, the meal's about 6.
Yeah.
And then the next one is Saturday here, 4 to 6.
Okay.
And next Saturday will be even bigger than the amount of people that we have today.
Yeah, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, because as it gets closer to the end of the month, it gets bigger and bigger.
Okay, well, I'll keep up the
Are you an
projection in
actual
time for
person
that.
needing a green sheet sign?
Keith?
Unbelievable!
No, yeah,
Okay.
it is unbelievable. How dare I get that ticket?
Right,
I didn't realize that you were in the interview still.
I can relate.
Well, we've had about 5 or 7 takes already in the interview. Go ahead.
No, I can't do that. I'll be around.
Okay, yeah. Cool. So then at some other point, if you want a less dramatic interview, we can go off to the side.
Yeah, it's safe enough if you want to do that. Yeah, let's go. Might be helpful to seclude ourselves, and that way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're almost done anyway. I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of I know it's weird to be doing it with all this chatter, but it is also the reality of.
Yeah, exactly, and that's actually the whole. To me, you got to experience it, right?
Yeah.
You got to live it and experience it, and whatever it is whatever. Good, bad, indifferent. It is what it is.
What it is, yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And it's beautiful because we can acknowledge that and still let it go and not let it bother us,
Right.
and whatever, people are people.
It is really interesting, isn't it? Because it kind of this is when I came up with the my friends and I came up with this idea of Food on Bombs. It was like a theater but it was called, and we got the idea from Living Theater, which is a theater company out of New York City in the 60s, anti-war kind of anti-capitalist theater. And Julian Beck is kind of the famous person that wrote the book, books about it and everything. And so we were friends with some of them. And the most famous, other than the fact that they were the Living Theater, My Dinner with Andre is the most famous popular culture movie connected to the Living Theater.
I've never seen it.
So anyway, so the idea was to set up an environment. Originally, our idea was to set up an environment and say we did not want homelessness to happen in America, because it wasn't happening, and that Reagan was going to cause a crisis if he diverted his funding from human needs to the military.
Right.
That was the whole point. So it's interesting how it is 37, almost 38 years later, that theater is continuing, and also life is happening, and it's all at the same time, and there's almost no distinction between some things. And then it turned out Reaganomics brought us 5, 6 million, 8 million homeless Americans, whatever the number is today.
This whole self-centeredness is appalling, but apparently legal, and that's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's also potential. There's a lot of energy around like oh, shut down food not bombs in Santa Cruz, shut them down. And
Across the country, across the world.
Yeah. And they got this whole like trip going on now. It's supposed to shut us down in Fort Lauderdale, although we kind of got saved by the hurricane.
So it's just been continued. The court case is continued until the hurricane.
Yeah, they actually made a new law. It's the same as the old law, only slightly different, because the old law is in litigation, so they had to make a new law that would be slightly different from the old law. And so on the 22nd of September was the day they're supposed to start arresting food not bombs. But then you had the hurricane, so it's like kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
So it'll take them a little while. They got to get over the hurricane stuff.
They'll be back there.
And then we've had the San Jose, let's get rid of food not bombs in San Jose. Then we had the let's get rid of food not bombs in Eureka. Let's get rid of food not bombs in what was it, Merced? I think it was the most recent one, but that kind of blew over. Champaign-Urbana, they were trying to get rid of food not bombs there. So those are the most recent. Miami, they actually went out and told Miami they had to stop serving food, but then they just kind of shrugged their shoulders and kept going. And then the hurricane happened, and now that's blown over, literally. So I don't know. It's funny. It's like waves of stuff. So how's it going, Bob?
Do you want a tray?
Huh?
Do you want a tray of food?
Yeah, we took a tray of food. Cool. Thanks.
I love you. Well,
and then I do have your papers. But they're in the front seat, and I'm going to keep last month's, but
Hey man, hey, come here, real quick. What's your name?
because it's my article on the front.
So with this group here, is there any kind of solidarity leadership vision, mission, any consensus on what you're willing to do to try to maintain where you're at, or
about the food not bombs, or about the people camping out?
About camping over there?
Well, we haven't really. Sadly, we haven't really spent a lot of energy figuring out a strategy.
Well, it's fast approaching tonight.
Yeah, now we
take the threat seriously.
Yeah, we need to do it.
And it's kind of, they need that extra oomph.
Yeah.
And of course, it was you and Abby with the oomph.
Right.
So
yeah, that's what. Once we're done talking, that's what I'm going to do is go around and talk to people and see if they're what they're thinking, and see if I can get something going.
Well, because if not here, everywhere that you go that's more obscure, it's easier to get picked on.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exactly the point.
Right, that's what they're trying to do.
Because if they do it somewhere public, then they've got to do it a little bit more legit.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything on paper writing, so that's already illegit to begin.
Right.
But yet, they don't even care. These guys get paid to lie because, dealing with criminals, you have to lie to them.
Did you know about the situation tonight here?
Well, I got your Facebook post.
Yeah, so, and I haven't had time to go online to find the interview that Bonnie did about it, but that's how we know about it. And so we don't know really what to do yet, and hopefully we will.
Well, the only thing you can really do is start a 24-hour vigil of taking turns who's going to keep watch, who's got video to be able to video the whole damn thing from start to finish. And conscientious objector is something so that you're not whatever taken away as part of the problem.
Right. Well, yeah, we have to figure.
Legal observer, I think, is really important.
Yeah, we might want to get people together to decide to stay the night or something.
And who knows, this may not even happen. It may have just been a scare.
Right.
And they do an awful lot of that all the time.
Right.
Selena's just is considering doing their 7-7 because we've been doing another lawsuit against them. We haven't, we're like, holding back, right? Or could just swing, but instead of doing the lawsuit, we're trying to work with them. Well, their workaround is this 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. carry everything you got in the turtle shell, and run around all day. And now they're going to do 7 to 7. But the whole concept of you have to pack everything you got during the day, and carry it, which actually makes you more of a target and more of a discrimination factor. You know,
It makes it so you can't get a bathroom.
oh yeah. Oh. You know, we had a big ordeal the last couple months with our county and our city trying to decide on a warming shelter location. The location was going to be this place that another prominent guy has property with. Well, he's willing to make the improvements, but then he's also getting paid rent. So, you know, I'm sure he's going to break even, if not make something in the end. But he's doing a good thing. You know, he offered his place, and you know, he could fit 100 people in there. City and county's like, deal struck, let's do it. And then shortly thereafter, they come back and go, nope, we're not going to let it happen. It's unpermittable, and we're going to roadblock you every step of the way. And you know, the frustration is it's really telling about your intentions. You know, what are you doing in public service if you're not going to serve the public?
Right.
You know, and you've got the same problem here. Lapis Road, there's another problem we got down there. Lapis Road is a county road, right outside Marina, just north of Marina. And so it's a county road, but it's also in Coastal Commission territory. And, well, the same way that they're driving everybody out is the same way the county's doing it. And, you know, I've been talking to them a while, and I know they've been listening. They've been worried, concerned, and paying attention. Not just the political, the five that sit on the dais, but the staff. You know, because they're the ones who have to move the muscle. You know, they're the muscle. So, you know, you can't do anything without them. And their buy-in is terribly important, and that's what's been going around. But yet still, when it came to Lapis Road, I talked to everybody up and down and kind of got them together, and you know, they're like, yeah, no, we want to stay, or we don't want to go. There's nowhere else to go.
Can I grab one of those juices out of there?
Juices?
Yeah, you have these small, tiny juices.
Oh, you got talk to Rick and he'll get you one.
Anytime I talk to him,
Okay, well just take one. But you should give it all to Rick though. He's supposed to hand those out.
If I could have went to that one on the 22nd, though, they had a meeting a week before the end of the month of August. If I could have went to that meeting, I could have made my point much more clear, and it would have stuck. And I know they wouldn't have done what they did. You know, because as it is now, everybody got to vacate. Right? Is 10 to 6 is their hours. But if you're there during the day and you got an RV, you know, 6 miles a gallon, you're not going to get very far with as much money as you got. Right? I mean, that's one of the reasons they're there, is because they just need a place to settle.
Right.
Same as here. You know, and that's getting people together is a big deal, and being a vocal part of the process of them making decisions to begin with. Before they make decisions, people need to be consulted and included in the conversation. What are we going to do about these? Well, why don't you include the people you're going to deal with?
Right, and they never do.
Exactly. Well, it is hard. It's very hard because you have to have a coherent conversation with a person.
Right.
And make, you know, who do you negotiate with? Who do you bargain with? How can that person speak for this person?
Right.
You know, and back to our democratic process, which we never actually honor and respect anyway.
Just from what I've seen, it's not the police so much as the two women on the council, the mayor whose name I can't remember, and Noreen, what's her last name?
Right. Cynthia Chase is our current mayor.
Cynthia Chase and
Cynthia Matthews.
But Noroyan is who you're thinking of?
Noroyan. I'm sorry, I haven't been to a council meeting.
No, you're all right.
Noroyan. When I heard her talking about the homeless, she was like so vicious.
Yet she's on this committee and such to, what was that, 20 point plan or something?
She has the lexicon to make herself appear like a liberal. But if you listen to the inflection of her speech and some of the things that she said when Micah Whitehead
Posner?
I didn't sleep at all last
No,
night.
you're fine.
I'm usually really sharp. I mean, I have a degree and I do computer work.
But he's a former council member himself, right?
Right. At that time, he was still a council member, and you know what they did? They timed a sanction for him so that they sanctioned him during the same meeting meeting where they discussed his proposal to alter the camping ordinance.
Wow. So they
And not
hampered
only
his
that, but
ability
she
to
was
talk
so
about it.
nasty. She says we could have prohibited you from taking part in today's meeting. Yeah.
Sounds very democratic.
Well, and just to coincide with the introduction of the amendment to the camping ordinance, it's not.
Well, because they were scared. They were scared it might make an impact if you talk too long.
But did you hear him explain it? He said it never was meant to be used against homeless people. Originally, it was because people come to this area, this general area like Santa Cruz County, to camp. The idea was to keep the tents out of the downtown area so they would actually go to either campgrounds or out in the wild somewhere.
Right, we pay for a hotel.
Right.
And then that way we
There
can make
were
revenue.
people who did come to camp.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes for extended periods of time. And it was more popular because, you wouldn't be confused with homeless people.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was the intention of the camping ban.
Right.
And they knew it. This is history.
Wow.
But you're actually from San Francisco, right?
Salinas.
Oh, okay. I thought.
The other direction.
Okay, because when they came down from San Francisco, when Andrea
Oh, yeah.
confused you with those people, I got a really good audio of Andrea.
Somebody's got a hard time.
The thing is, I intuited that I should have just used. I had some audio stuff that I could have dragged out, or I could have worked on it. Is this set up for you? And they told us it was set up. So the city people who are in charge of making sure that everything in that venue works properly, just let it go straight to hell. There was only one channel worked out of an 8-channel board. It was you heard how it was.
No, at that meeting, yeah, that was some goofy.
I was going to say, could I set this up for you? And then they told us it was all set up. Well, they told him that's the same people who are enforcing the camping ban, not camping ordinance. They're enforcing it as a ban. They're enforcing it as a camping ban to clear out the homeless people out of their way so that you don't walk through a prosperous area and have the embarrassment of people being homeless in the wealthiest area of the country.
Well,
There's enough wealth to go around.
It does preclude some people from opening their wallets, seeing other people around that they feel may want to take their money. So,
I think of it as
affluence.
You know about Herbert Hoover and how he was president before FDR.
Yeah.
When FDR got elected, there's been a tradition that the outgoing president would ride up to the inauguration.
Oh, okay.
And if you've ever noticed how the employees kind of made photo ops with George W. Bush, and to keep the lineage going, they'll get together with a smile.
Sure.
Hoover refused to get into the limousine with FDR. And then 2 years later, FDR gave his Forbes Field speech where he said, at the beginning of the speech, it comes out very loud, I have reversed the policies of the previous administration. Loud applause, loud applause. He couldn't even continue. The reason was, Hoover impoverished people so badly, and he took the side of banks like these fraudulent foreclosures. They didn't even consider whether they were fraudulent or not, because if a bank wanted to foreclose, there were no regulations on it at all. They could just take back the property they wanted. They would have all been fraudulent.
Well, it's legal. It's legal. We're thieves, and now pay us for being thieves.
It wasn't illegal.
Right.
So the thing is, my mother remembered this, and she said I would see the people in the Hoovervilles lining up in the winter in these soup kitchens with snot running down their nose because they're all sick from sleeping out in the cold.
Sure.
You had to cry. But the thing is, the Hoovervilles were there. People saw the Hoovervilles. They were named after Hoover. So who did they vote for?
Not Hoover.
Now, why do you think they started calling these Obamavilles? Oh, did you hear about the Obamavilles?
No.
They started calling them Obamavilles up in Seattle. Boy, did that go down quick. They had the feds on it right away, and it was Obama with the feds who made the big crackdown on Occupy. The reason was we can't have any tent cities up when our man is running for re-election. That was exactly what they did. So that's why I told them. Well, he couldn't have Hoovervilles up called Obamavilles. And the thing is, these people, why should they say
Yeah, you need shelter. You actually need to be shaded from the elements.
I go far enough out there that way. They can set up a you can ask me, you want to take this down in the morning?
ones are going to pretend. That's the pretend thing tonight.
But I guess I don't have to preach to the choir. But he didn't know about Hoover drugs. My mom told me about that way before people were homeless.
Boy. And we still doing the same thing.
Right back when they were homeless, but
You didn't see a lot of it. I mean, in our life. In our lives.
Yeah,
We didn't
not
see a
before
lot-
Reagan.
Right, we didn't see people trying to live on the street, except unless they were drugs who had West Madison Avenue. The only reason why people were relying on there is because they drank so much they couldn't get very further. Couldn't get any further.
Yeah, like the Bowery.
Right now, so that was the...
Well, now society will induce and perpetuate it, so how do you ever get out of it? Once you're down in your luck, you can never get your luck back.
Unless it's some.
Who was working on the salad? You remember?
I put lettuce in, but it just had the green lettuce.
Prepared salad.
I don't know after I
Okay, so you're thinking about getting some people to decide whether you're staying or going. I guess that's the first thing. What do you want to do? Are you staying or going? What are you going to do?
I'm going to stay, but I've got to talk to my people. Yeah, who can stay with me.
Well, that's a good introduction, right? What are you doing? Well, the more people that say yay, then the stronger our argument needs to be.
The person that introduced me to the idea was, who showed me the video was Nikki.
I want to video the whole thing too.
You better do that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're capable of.
We have giant videos or dueling videos or video versus audio or something.
There you go. So I got a note on Facebook, and Keith McKinney said that I guess the people here got threatened to move out tonight, and they're already not welcome to City Hall. They're not welcome here. There's a fence up. Where can you be welcome? And so I guess,
perhaps.
are you kidding me? They're saying the river, and I seen something a week or so.
Swim in the.
Oh yeah, sure. Go for a drink, like the kittens in the bag.
Well, kittens are just pussies.
Oh yeah, right.
So have you found any, I was thinking that phone contacts by these folks might be helpful and they can contact some centralized person who can then put out the word to the hundreds of housed homeless advocates who will come rushing down.
Really? Do you have a list of that?
I was hoping you did, actually.
Oh, okay, sure. We'll do that with my orange sherbet, rainbow sherbet unicorns.
Something like that, yeah.
Right?
There did seem to be more people here than there were 2 months ago.
Coalescing, yeah, and I heard that actually people are getting along pretty good over here. A lot better than they were at City Hall.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to ask if, I keep saying this because Keith wanted to have a meeting here at 4 and find out who has phone contacts and maybe list of people who can...
Okay, so there was a strategy behind this at 4 o'clock because 4 o'clock is, yes,
That was Keith's idea. I don't know if I call it a strategy.
I don't think, these guys have been holding it down all by themselves, and really it's a labor of love, a passion that not many people can replicate, especially in society.
Who is this questionable person with the dark glasses?
Oh no, he's our paparazzi right there. Actually, he's the enlightened dread man.
Not dreadful, but dreaded, so to speak.
Dreads on his head. That means he's true to the core.
Right on. We're talking about the African-American cameraman whose persistent presence with you tends to give you some credibility in the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh, there you go. Okay, that sounds good, right? I got a black friend. That works.
Yeah, some of your best friends are African-American. I've heard that before.
Well,
Trump say that? I don't know.
no, man. Well, we just look for anything helpful and positive.
Nancy
We
Pelosi maybe
always.
said the same thing. Yeah, more of the same. Well, Wes, what's happening in Seaside? I should say actually Salinas, but Seaside too.
Yeah, no. Well, the Salinas thing. There was 3 things that happened on Tuesday. We had the Salinas Women's Shelter. We went from being on 321 Main to being the public defender's office, which is pleasing. If it's more people, it's got sprinklers and bathrooms and kitchen. So it's already
You're
set.
camping in
ready
the
to go.
public defender's office? What is this? I'm sorry, I missed
No,
it.
it is overnight shelter. It's a women's shelter for the winter season.
Oh, and when does that open?
Yeah, the winter women's shelter, it opens maybe the end of November. So, that's what they're shooting for. They've been having so much problem complication, that's why it's late. And, it's money based. So it's unfortunate, but the nice thing is we ended up in a better situation for it. So there's one situation. Number 2 situation, Lapis Road north of Marina. We've talked about this a little bit with the Coastal Commission. But the ordinance is 10 to 6, and now they did their enforcement piece. So they can go ahead and ticket people 10 to 6. Also revoke their permission to be able to be along Lapis Road the rest of the 90
Are they giving out
days.
tickets yet?
That's a good question. I think things might start Monday or so. Because it's a weekend right now. I don't really see
I hear
it
it was
starting for
passed
that.
on Tuesday, although the original implication or statement of purpose was passed, August, in late August. You got
Yes.
3 months, but get out of here during the day.
Yes, yeah, and the other ordinance, the enforcement was the other half of that. If I just wish I could have been there for the August 22nd meeting, somewhere in there, because we had a meeting with all the department heads, and that's when they hammered out this ordinance. And of course, the people who were directly affected were not asked, to be included in the conversation.
Are they ever?
Not at this point, but so that was a loss. It's a failure. I told them so. But the nice thing is that we did have a little bit of input session after that on Friday.
There was no forcible occupation of their offices.
No. We gave some input as to their safe parking program, which is still straight up off the top. It's wrong because it's a daytime restriction, and we need to be 24
What are the
hours.
Lapis Road warriors doing about this other than complaining occasionally to media like myself and evacuating the Salinas?
Evacuating is about the only choice you have.
They aren't, in other words, getting together to plan any proactive response.
Well, yes, actually, our homeowners association has been, our proactive responses working with the county. You can shake your fist out all you want. And the nice thing is that the county is willing to listen. The staff is willing to listen. And
Is that nice if they will allow the deputies to go out and ticket everybody and seize their homes? I don't know if that's pretty.
exactly.
I
Well,
think that's a bunch of horse shit, frankly.
okay.
And they're willing to listen to you all day long. That's what politicians are paid to do, is look like they're listening to you.
Well, and they're slow to draw. And you got to realize it's a bigger beast than any of us can handle. And you got the
Certainly
DA,
can't
you
handle
got the sheriff, and you got the board.
Yeah, but you're not going to handle it if you go to them to ask for advice on how to handle themselves.
Am I asking for advice? No, actually.
No, in other words, you have to go to each other or to people who are in your group who are willing to do things like you are.
Right. Well, and the representation is coming from that. I mean, we had half a dozen people there, and it was impressive, even by minimal
Are
standards.
the half a dozen people going to actually do anything when the deputies begin their removal of people?
What would you have them do?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you could do all kinds of things, ranging from video documenting and trying to shame them,
Yes.
to your blockade strategy of a year and a half ago, which you tried, to
Well, and that all takes
sleep
people
outs
power.
in front of the offices of the clowns who planned this shit.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm making it up as I go, and I'm not volunteering to do it.
Exactly, and that's the people energy is the hard part. You're talking
Well,
about
it's not just
people.
the people energy, it's the strategy. I mean, if your strategy is primarily to spend your time talking to politicians,
No.
or for my part, for example, today, talking to
fellow activists who share my opinions instead of, let's say, organizing people around here who might have phone contacts, which I haven't done yet. Then we will be caught babbling at each other, and when the cops
Well, good.
come,
You pass out your card. I'll pass out mine.
Fair enough.
You know, and Keith says he might be here overnight. The hard part for what I've understood is the motivation. You know, the interest, the availability of a charged phone with enough energy and
That's true.
storage space on their phone.
But the other-
you're dealing with people who are in a constant.
the
state
other
of
thing is
crisis.
to have somebody go individually, person to person, and say, "What's your phone number?" And I don't think anybody has fucking done that yet.
Okay.
And I'm not about to do it either. I'll do it a few people, but I'm not going to do it. You know.
And I just got a costume from one guy for having my camera shut. Of like, you better not, you know. So
I know, you'll
gotta
find that.
resist
Maybe you're
this
carrying
as
a
well.
camera with you. I mean, I do look very good, I must say. And we've been talking with
Wes White.
Charles.
Yeah, you know, we had another. So there was actually a third issue. No, but I guess
Go
you
quickly,
go and get them. The 7-7 thing with the cities ordinance, we had 66. The very first thing it says in there, except for you can't be on any city property, including City Hall, within 300 feet. So, you know, they're very mindful to make sure that they're still
City Hall must be protected from the hordes of the poor.
Exactly.
I want to actually talk to you more about this later.
Okay, good. Have fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, pass your number out.
I will pass my number out. I'm doing real good to find out if they have it.
All right.
And I call.